We're talking about the biggest X factors facing the Cubs in their final 30 games of the regular season. This mini pod brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside. Use code HICHGO at checkout. So, big X factors, things and players for the Cubs moving forward.
I'm going to start with somebody who I am just so excited about. He became our ace of the season. He was lights out in the bullpen, then became our starting ace and was lights out there as well. I don't know when he comes back. I know he's throwing live bullpens right now, but Ben Brown injected into this pitching staff as a starter, as a closer, as a fireman. I don't know, but he was our best pitcher for a long stretch. And if he can come back, man, I'll tell you, not just a boost to our team, but lights out wherever you put him, not just for the stretch, but also into October. Man, I'm thinking about that and smiling big time, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, when I think about, that's a great place to start because when you think of the word X factor, I immediately gravitate towards something that you currently don't have. Mm-hmm. But if you can suddenly add it to the mix that's already currently constituted and he can make it a little bit better, then it can really take you up another notch, right? And that's when you get dangerous, and that's when you can start to dream big as a Cubs fan. And what better place to start than Ben Brown, a guy who should have been an all-star this year. And if he doesn't come back as a starter, even if he can come back as a bullpen piece and be dangerous again, Luke, what better start than Ben Brown?
Yeah, and I think X Factor also means all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure.
It's almost all or nothing. So in general, it's about being healthy.
Yeah.
Ben Brown is the poster boy for this because he's so critical to this team. But the Cubs have to get some of those injured guys back and ready to play, whether that's Palencia now getting some regular playing time and pitching in the final 30 games, or Matt Shaw coming back and being that extra bat that they need from the right side that they didn't acquire at the trade deadline. And so I think Ben Brown, for me, you're right, he's the top of the list.
Yeah.
But Matt Shaw offensively might be the equivalent of that, right? He's the flip side of that. What are you going to get from that guy that can play lots of positions? And will he be a factor on the bases, defensive substitutions, a pinch hitter when you need him, or sending Seiya to DH at times?
Or we've kind of seen Council platoon Ian Happ, and Matt Shaw could be the platoon guy for Ian Happ. Obviously, Ian Happ much better from the left side, as we saw over the weekend. Matt Shaw from the right side, hitting lefties, man. That could be a very, very impressive outfield platoon, And I know we traded for Taylor, but we only did that because Matt Shaw's been hurt. Matt Shaw was supposed to be that guy. Like you said, Seiya was the DH. Matt Shaw was going to be your right fielder, if you will. But Matt Shaw is a very, very important piece. I do worry with a wrist injury how he'll come back. You know, will he be the guy that I've been hoping for his whole career? Either way, I think, can't wait to get him back in the lineup, wherever, a Swiss Army knife, if you will. Great defense, great base runner. Yeah, he's definitely a weapon.
Yeah, I'm looking at the great defense, and even if the hitting isn't exactly where you want it to be, the guy knows how to run the bases, and he adds more team speed, which if you see in October in really, really tight games, speed can often kill, right? And if you can get a guy on the base pass to take that extra base, I think it's huge. I'm going to go with a current guy on the team right now. Credit to Sarah on the ones and twos who dropped it before we started recording here. I am going to go with Kevin Gausman.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Gausman, a current Cub right now in this rotation, a guy who hasn't been with this team the entirety of this season, but came in with World Series pedigree and the type of guy that you should be able to trust into an October situation. Now, the question is, what kind of Kevin Gausman are you going to get? The one that, frankly, has been a little up and down with the Chicago Cubs, the one that, frankly, hasn't been good with the Toronto Blue Jays up to this point this year. If he can sort of turn it around and start becoming a little bit more that bulldog that I think we were trying to buy, and you could just walk into October and say, you know what? I feel really good about my game one starter, and it's going to be Kevin Gausman, and let everyone else align throughout the rotation after that. I think then that's another X factor there where because the guy who pitches in game one, outside of the wild card round, by and large will end up pitching at least 2 games in a series. So whoever that guy is, you better be sure that you trust him implicitly to go out there and give you 2 quality outings. So if Kevin Gausman can become that guy, Luke, then I think that's another thing that can push the Cubs forward.
I like that too. And zooming out, I think the answer is they've got to get their starters right. Yeah. They've got 30 days and 4 or 5 starts maybe for some of these guys. they've got to get them right. Shota's had bad starts in a row. Boyd's had some bumpy ones in a row.
Wow.
Gausman's been, what are you going to do there? Like, I want to be able to see 4 starters and say, it's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and everybody else to the bullpen as needed. So I want to know confidently that the 4 that I've picked to be my starters going into the first playoff series are the right ones.
Yeah.
And frankly, they've kind of interchanged, and it's past history floating in. Nobody's blown me away.
No,
everybody's had some good starts. Everybody's had some real duds. They got to get the starters right.
You're absolutely right. And I think a key to that as well is having a very, very, very strong bullpen. And my next one, another current Cub, just came back, Daniel Palencia. I know everyone loves Jacob Webb, and he's been awesome. And I expect him fully to be a late inning guy for us. But there is nothing like a healthy Gasolina. We saw it last year. We saw it in the playoffs last year. We saw it at the WBC. This guy, when right, is your high-octane, lights-out closer, and that's who I want throwing the 9th inning, And again, he's got to prove it back-to-back days and be healthy, all those things. But I think he's the closest thing we have to Aroldis Chapman back in the 2016 team, and you saw how that went well for us. When he came in, it was game over. So for me, these next 30 days, I need to see Palencia ease back in there, back-to-back, success, get him just right for October because, again, if he's healthy and he's right going into October, he's my closer.
So what I think is really encouraging about this conversation that we're having is I think if we had it last year and we do this exact same segment, I think maybe all of us are saying our X factor is Kyle Tucker. And if Kyle Tucker isn't Kyle Tucker, we're not going anywhere.
That finger could heal.
Why you should be encouraged by this, Cubs fan, is because we're naming all these different kinds of X factors where we're not saying each one of them have to hit like this, but let's just say one of these hit the way that we are hoping and projecting, or what if 2 of them hit? It could take the Cubs to different places, and there's a lot of different doors that they can open up right now that leads to a ton of optimism. So I'm going to add one more, Luke. The final one, my final X factor, honestly, no. This is going to surprise you. It's the schedule, and here's why. Here's why. We've played really well against the Phillies. We've played really well against the Dodgers. We've played really well against the Padres this year. We got 7 games left with the Milwaukee Brewers, and we have a 3-game series against the Atlanta Braves. I'm not trying to intimate that those are going to be games that are going to decide the division, but by and large, the Cubs need to play well in those series, and they need to get more of a feel for their opposition and the matchup that they might be facing in October. If you're not going to take down the division, fine, but play well against the Brewers. Let them know that maybe if you see us again in October, you should be scared and you should be afraid of us a little bit. Don't lay down to them. The same thing with the Atlanta Braves. Get a little bit more intel if you can. And if you can play well in those series, at the very least, if you match up with those teams in October, you could start to feel pretty good about matchup and also performance and trying to win a series.
I got 3 more rapid fire.
Let me have them. Bring him.
Zephyr-John, better figure it out.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Dansby Swanson's oblique has to be better. That is a huge X factor. And will this Alex Bregman stay for the rest of the season, please? If this is what you're going to get from Bregman, the Cubs have a real shot in the postseason. X factors, they pop up every day. We hope they start to deliver.